This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. The 2015 recipient of the Best Local Podcast by the Creative Loafing of Tampa. You are tuned in to Hoppe Hour, syndicated on IRN and heard around the world on the Hoppe Radio app. From Chicago to Cleveland to Tampa Bay, you are plugged into Hoppe Hour.
What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. For the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my opinions and my rants to broaden your horizon. And now this is an open discussion, so I want to hear from you guys. So give me a call at 856-49-HOPPE. That's 856-49-HOPPE, and I will be sure to take your calls in real time. But here's the deal. I don't have a phone screener yet. I'm not on the radio yet. I'm not on satellite radio yet. That's the ultimate goal. But right now, it's a one-man show. So when I say all phone lines are open, that's when you call me at 856-49-HOPPE. That's 856-49-HOPPE. But maybe you're a bit antsy and you really want to chime in on your opinion. It's not hard. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and I will be sure to see it in real time, and I will respond to you during the commercial break. And you can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And also, I just repeated myself, you also can get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio. Hoppe Radio, and there's a chat feature there. We have so much to get into. And now, if I would have been doing this show 2 years ago, my opinion on this next article would have been really negative. It would have been me saying, he's a hack, he's a wannabe, he's not funny, he's not original. But as I'm more and more in the radio business, as a kid trying to grind along, I really respect anybody that's able to present themselves on TV. I respect anybody that's able to put on a radio show and make money and have an agent. I can think you're unoriginal and not funny, but I respect people like James Corden. I think his carpool karaoke is some of the worst TV I've seen in years. And I think his show is completely watered down, and it doesn't even compare to Craig Ferguson or Craig Kilborn. But he has his niche, and I think he's awful. I don't think he's funny at all. But it's for people that like easy humor. It's for people that like the Big Bang Theory or like WWE. You need to have the humor come to you. You need to be reminded that you need to laugh. That's what James Corden does, and that's why he's on CBS. It's a laugh track network. Because he's going to be making this movie called EmojiMovie, based off of emojis, and the whole world is freaking out on Twitter. The whole world is freaking out online. People are so negative. Here's what it says here, and this is from the Daily Mail. Humanity is going down the toilet. Horrified social media users poke fun at James Corden's EmojiMovie in witty series of tweets after they are afraid about the movie coming out. Yes, there are reasons in 2016 going on 2017 that we should be terrified and think that humanity is going down the toilet. When I think of humanity going down the toilet, going in the same bowl that crap and urine goes into, I think about Trump or Clinton being our president. I think about Rahm Emanuel being a scumbag who's an awful mayor of Chicago. I think about all the crime that happens in urban neighborhoods in this country. I think about all the tension we have with cops. I think about the fact that the Kardashians are the most known celebrities in the world. To me, that's humanity going down the toilet. But a wannabe, awful talk show host, in my opinion, making a movie that's actually kind of creative and hip, because that's James Corden's whole thing, is social media and being hip. What's the big deal about him making an emoji movie? I don't get the whole appeal where you're ripping into it, hating on somebody for doing something corny in 2016 isn't original. I see a lot of these accounts that are ripping into him are people that are 40 or 50. Of course, you're not going to relate to the quote-unquote millennials. You're 40 or 50. You grew up thinking the pet rock was cool. You grew up watching Seinfeld, so you're not going to relate to emojis. You grew up using a pager. You didn't ever have emojis to send. You didn't grow up with social media. Shut up. You're not impressing anybody by hating on the quote-unquote millennials. If you think hating on the millennials and things like EmojiMovie is creative, no, you're just a big herd of every middle-aged person that's been ripping on this generation lately and not giving us a chance, so shut up. The film, being produced by Sony Pictures Animation, will hit theaters in August 2017. The film will be about Gene, an emoji with a wide array of expressions, on a quest for a code that will make him normal like other emojis. It's actually kind of creative. Every animated movie lately has been the same thing. For once, they come up with something that's kind of crazy. And it's not like this is a trend, like if you were to make a movie about the Chewbacca mom or Ken Bone, where they're having their 15 minutes of fame, that it wouldn't make sense if you make it in a year. Emojis aren't going anywhere. Emojis are going to be in books that our kids read in 20 years, that they learn about. Emojis is a phenomenon that everybody uses. It's not like when this comes out in August 2017, we'll have moved on from using emojis. Emojis are here to stay. So I think this is a genius plan by him to make the movie. And he has legit actors and actresses doing the voiceover. If this movie bombs and this movie is awful, it will make James Corden look like a moron. It will not hurt his career, but he literally has a chance. With the people that I'm about to read to you that are trying out for the movie and the writers you can have, because Sony makes Shrek, they made Madagascar, they've made a lot of decent cartoons. EmojiMovie has the chance to be pretty good because it has nothing going for them. They're literally the top underdog in the NCAA basketball tournament. Nobody expects anything from EmojiMovie. So I actually predict it'll be good. And the lead role will be voiced by T.J. Miller. That's great. T.J. Miller is amazing on that show on HBO. The one that everybody's been watching. He was amazing in any movie he's been in. I've heard him on various radio shows. T.J. Miller is very funny. That's the perfect person you want to have playing your character. And the name of the character will also be High Five. Next year, emojis will be leaping off our phones and onto the movie screen. But not everybody is happy about the release. In fact, many are downright upset. Yeah, you're so upset over a movie coming out. Were you not able to put your car in the ignition and drive to work? Were you not able to pick up your fork and eat dinner? Were you not able to have sex with your significant other tonight? Were you not able to tuck your kids into bed? Were you not able to mow the lawn? The anger and the outrage that EmojiMovie is bringing these people, are you not able to go about your life? Or is this an excuse to try and live through Hollywood and bitch and complain over everything when we have real issues in this country? Shut up. With the film announcement on Twitter, many users took to the site to declare that humanity is going down the toilet. You know the proof that humanity is going down the toilet is that these anonymous pussies wouldn't say it to James Corden's face. If they met James Corden, they would go, "Oh my God, I love carpool karaoke. Can I have a selfie?" None of these people would say it to his face. So that's actually proof that humanity is going down the drain. The fact that they're hiding behind a keyboard talking about somebody else's movie, and every time you tweet out EmojiMovie, you're giving it more attention. So if you hated EmojiMovie, you wouldn't talk about it, you morons. Here's from Jason Maska. Here's one of the tweets they had. "Guys, there's going to be an EmojiMovie, and I have confirmed that we are doomed." Oh, yeah. Because that's what's going to ruin this country. Because EmojiMovie is what's going on. It's just going to run this country into the ground. Not that we're in debt. Not that cities are beginning to go downhill and there's a bad unemployment rate. No. It's because of a cartoon. And it's going to be in, let's say, the movie theaters for what, 5-6 weeks, and then it'll be on demand. It's not like back 10 years ago where movies were in theaters for 4 to 5 months. It'll come out in the dog days of the summer in August 2017, and we'll forget about it by then. So nobody is impressed by your outrage, and you're not very smart. Here's one from Spooky Potato. At least Jason Maska tweeted about it publicly. Spooky Potato, what an outrageous account. Oh my God, there's an EmojiMovie, even worse. It's called EmojiMovie. Kill me. Next tweet is from Isaac Liebold. EmojiMovie Express Yourself is a film based on emoji sometime next year. God has abandoned us all. No. If God is real, I think he abandoned us when 9/11 happened and then George Bush got reelected. And then we had the whole issue with the recession in 2008. And now Trump can potentially be a president, or Clinton can potentially be a president. To me, one of those factors is when God ditched us, not that a movie's coming out. It says here that they have gone on to say that they would rather kill themselves than see it, or they would rather sleep in the same bed as Vladimir Putin. So you got some of the original tweets about why this is such an awful movie. And I don't know. I think it's all right. I mean, it does make sense that James Corden would make a movie like this, because whenever you watch his show, he's very much like, hey, I'm hyper, I'm James Corden, I'm going to sing with Michelle Obama and Adele, because I'm great. While Craig Ferguson is the most underrated, not just talk show host of all time, but TV show. Craig Ferguson's monologues were brilliant. James Corden isn't even close. I'm not a fan of James Corden. I think his show's terrible, but I think he has the right to have a terrible show, and he has the right to make a movie that people don't like. Call the show. How outraged are you by EmojiMovie? Like this person, Anthony Rodriguez. The fact that EmojiMovie is about to come out makes me want to kill myself. So, are you like her? Call me, 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-49-HOPPY. And there's one person named Nice Egg, of course, hiding behind an anonymous account. Can I go back to a world where there wasn't an EmojiMovie being made? No. Does this really affect the world? Like, was the world that much better before EmojiMovie came out? Like, was the economy better, and were ghettos better, and were there other candidates running for president? But once EmojiMovie was announced, everything's gone down the drain. Now, EmojiMovie is coming out by Bob Patton tweets this. Any chance we can kick this war off now? And it shows Vladimir Putin crying, and it says nuclear war. If we were to begin a huge war with Russia over an EmojiMovie, trust me when I say this country is doomed. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. We have a lot to get into, so I am going to go to commercial break, and I will be back after this on Hoppe Hour. Hang on.
Hoppe Hour.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from the award-winning Hoppe Hour podcast here in Tampa Bay, and I'm here today to talk about my guy, Joe Sale of the Tampa Image Factory. About 4 months ago, I needed somebody to take press shots for me for my podcast, and it was hard to find people because it seems like in this day and age, everybody is a photographer. But the thing that I immediately liked about Joe Sale was that he was a laid-back guy who was willing to work with my schedule, and I immediately dug the vibe of his office. The things they have there include family portraits, commercial work for your company. They can make images for your events, your big day when you're going to get married at your wedding, and they even make photography for products. I will be back in about
anything you need for
2
the
minutes.
home or office.
Sean, what's up, dude?
Man,
Those
this
were
sounds
some
like
good
quite
times
the
on
deal.
Cruise, man. I
How
appreciate
can
you
I get
watching,
into
dude.
contact
I want to
with
get you
such
on the
a
show sometime.
trustworthy,
Hit me up.
hardworking photographer.
God, the
like
Cruise
Joe
is fun.
Sale. Trust me, it's not rocket science. All you got to do is call him at 813-417-2626. It's 813-417-2626. Or you can check him out online at TampaImageFactory.com. TampaImageFactory.com. That is TampaImageFactory.com. And if you go there and tell them that I sent you, he will hook you up with a top-notch deal. Trust me when I say Joe Sale of the Tampa Bay Image Factory is the best in the Bay.
From Chicago to Cleveland to Tampa Bay, you are plugged into Hoppe Hour.
Welcome back to Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. Call the show. The phone lines are open. It's not hard. Pick up your phone and call me at 856-49-HOPPE. That's 856-49-HOPPE. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio. Hoppe Radio. All right. So, I'm here in Tampa Bay, so I'm by myself. All my family is in Chicago or Los Angeles or North Carolina. But basically, 95% of my whole family is up in Chicago. So I haven't seen my aunt, who is also my godmom, and I haven't seen my other aunt and my two cousins since Christmas. But I've been trying lately to hit them up more, just because I miss them, and just because my cousins are now in 5th grade and 7th grade. So it's like you want to sort of have that communication while they're younger, because then they'll want to hang out with you when you're older. So I called my cousin like last week, and I was talking to my aunt, and she goes, okay, here's Nathan. So she puts Nathan on the phone. And Nathan's in 5th grade, a very observant kid, always has been the kid that would listen to adult conversations and would ask a lot of things. Like, Nathan's always been that kid that's very smart, that has a big ear. Like, his ears are like Dumbo. Like, he takes everything in. So I was talking to him, and he's like, Ryan, can I ask you a thing? And I go, what's up? And he goes, how scary are the clowns right now? And for my little cousin to be that afraid about clowns makes me think that the adults are not doing a good job of hiding the fear, and that the media should be ashamed of themselves for making a big deal out of everything going on with clowns. Listen. It's bad that clowns are luring kids into the woods. It's bad that we don't know what clowns to trust. But since the beginning of time, we've never had this many issues with clowns. So if you succumb to the pressure and you begin banning clowns from places, and you begin freaking out over clowns and not having them at parties, then you're letting the pedophiles win, and you're actually hurting the business of the clowns that are hardworking, so you're actually not thinking about it in the long run. It's kind of like when you would learn about everything in class, like don't go into a person's car, never go into a van, always ignore the danger. That's an example of when you should never, ever trust anybody who has a van or a car and wants you to come in. But we've never had issues with clowns, but now we're acting like they're pedophiles, and we have fast food joints and mom and pop places that have clowns as their mascot, now hiding, and they're going to suspend it indefinitely. And my thing is, you could set the precedent if you have a clown as your mascot to say, hey, this clown has never caused any trouble. This clown has actually brought happiness and has been a key to our company's success and all the other companies that have clowns to their success. But it's just when you succumb to the pressure, you're actually scaring the kids more, because the kids are then thinking, oh, if this place is getting rid of clowns and these birthday parties don't have clowns anymore, then clowns must be really, really bad. I just don't know why people don't think this out. We have this whole thing now with social media and the news throwing things at us 24/7 that we seem to kind of not relax, and we seem to like not think about things because we have news reports being thrown at us 24/7. Like, let's say there's been 20 clown attacks, or 30, maybe even 50 altogether. I think it's a very high number, but let's just say there's been 50 attacks since this whole phenomenon has began. think about how many clowns there have been since the beginning of time, or how many clowns that are hardworking right now that are now not having as much business because of the creepy clowns. I don't have the exact number of how many clowns there are. I don't think they count that demographic every few years when the government does its census. But trust me when I say I feel like it's probably a low percentage of clowns that are creepy. So you're hurting the, let's say, 85% of clowns that are actually hardworking. And we claim that we want people to have jobs. And we claim that we're all about, let's help out the Americans. But we're actually screwing over the hardworking Americans by just banning clowns everywhere. Call the show. Let me know what you think. 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-49-HOPPY. I just think we need to quit freaking out over everything. And we need to quit being soft. And we need to just kind of go back to saying, no, not every person is a bad person. Because these kids don't know what to think. I mean, when you're a kid, you get afraid. Like, I remember growing up as a kid, you would hear about Jeffrey Dahmer, or you would hear about John Wayne Gacy. Now, that happened before my time, but you would just go, how do people have that inside of them to act like a creep? And your mom would say, there's just bad apples that are born. So now we're setting the precedent that all clowns are equivalent to Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy, who was actually a clown. So let me know what you think of that. I also saw this in the headlines, and once again, I don't get the outrage. It says here that Candace Payne got a tattoo of herself. Do we know who Candace Payne is? Can anybody watching on Hoppy TV right now tell me who Candace Payne is? Anybody? Call the show. Do you know who Candace Payne is? Oh, wait, she's the Chewbacca mom. And she got a tattoo of the Chewbacca mom on her arm. And the internet is ripping her apart. And the internet's freaking out. You do realize that nobody knows who Candace Payne is. They just know her as the Chewbacca mom. You do realize with another case like Ken Bone from St. Louis that was at the debate, with all these people that get their 15 minutes of fame, if you're going to hate on them for cashing it in, you would do the same thing if that opportunity was provided to you. So you don't come off genuine and you don't come off likable or smart when you rip into Joe the Plumber 10 years ago when he did it, or Chewbacca Mom, or even like Chocolate Rain. Remember that video from 2007? Like, if you're that adamant and you're that angry about people when they have their 15 minutes of fame, would you do the same? Like, everyone's freaking out that Ken Bone has Uber he's being endorsed by Uber with the 4 days of fame he has had so far in St. Louis. And everyone's saying he's a sellout. What is he selling out? Nobody knew who Ken Bone was a week ago. Now everybody knows who Ken Bone is. And we're not going to know who he is in 2 weeks. I would make sure I get everything out of this 15 minutes of fame. I'm just so sick and tired of everybody being negative. I am just really over reading all the hatred online. Because we go, how can we improve America as a country? We have two pieces of dirt, two scumbag leeches running for president. Seems like there's all these issues with this country and we have violence going on. But then we actually have news that doesn't affect us whatsoever, like the mom getting a picture of herself on her arm, or EmojiMovie coming out. And then we get mad at those and then we rip into it. So we're actually kind of being hypocrites where we get mad that bad news is coming out and we want to hear good news. So when there's fluff that comes out in the news, we rip into it. So we're actually being negative 24/7. Which way do you want it? Call the show. 856-49-HOPPY. All right. Here's this thing I have been doing recently with Hoppe Hour. I am not allowed to play uncensored music on this show when it comes to the fact that anybody that has a Facebook license or anybody that has their music and they have a license, they claim that me playing the music on here hurts their residuals. Like when I would play, let's say, Bow Wow or Fabulous or 50 Cent, any of the throwbacks, they were trying to claim on Facebook that they're going to lose out on money when they're just losing 50 cents on money. And it's not that big of a deal that I was playing it here on Spreaker and here on Facebook Live if you're watching on Hoppe TV. But anyway, they almost shut down Hoppe TV altogether about a month ago on Facebook. So now I'm playing unsigned music on my show. And you can email me if you're into country music and you have your own band or you perform and you have singles out. You can email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. Or if you're an EDM DJ or a hip-hop artist or rock and roll, classical, whatever it is, if you want to have it played on this award-winning podcast, Hoppe Hour, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. And I got a submission here from a guy who's really, really talented. His name is Shady Bones. And me and him did some cross-promotion and some work in Chicago. And I hadn't heard from him in about 3 years. But he was watching my show live and saw that I'm looking for unsigned music to play on the show. So I said, why not, man? You're a good dude. You're an up-and-comer in this business. Why not give you some exposure? It's cross-promoting for both of us. So I'm going to premiere on here some music by Shady Bones. The song I'm going to play is Uncharted Territory. And then after that, we're going to come back and wrap everything up on the show known as Hoppe Hour.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Roll smooth with a bang.
Tweet Ryan Hoppe at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Snapchat him at Hoppe Radio. And email him anytime at ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. We're about to wrap everything up, but the phone lines are open. They're wide open. 856-49-HOPPE. That's 856-49-HOPPE. And we have some messages that have come in via the Hoppe Radio app. Phil from the ROC, who used to listen to me on the previous show out of Cleveland that I worked on back in 2015. He says, Hoppe, I miss you, man. It's great to find the show. Keep up the good work. Phil, spread the word and tell anybody and everybody about the show by getting the Hoppe Radio app like you have in the Google Play and iPhone shop. And Mary chimes in and goes, I'm listening while doing the dishes. I'm from Lakeland. Exactly. I hope my show makes It's not something I can wrap my mind around. I don't know if I'd be enlightened and totally cool with it, or it would weird me out. If I had a parent or even a family member that was in porn, I would find it very, very weird, just because whenever you would watch a porno, let's say you're watching Lisa Ann, you would then say, oh my God, my daughter or my son or my mom or my dad or my aunt or my uncle is doing the same thing on camera in different movies that Lisa Ann is doing. To me, I would never, ever be able to even watch any adult films. It would just creep the hell out of me. I'm using iMovie or Final Cut Pro, like where you have to have the transition from the position to, let's say, the money shot. To me, it would be weird when you have to just cut it up. Like, it's a very perverted thing to be working behind the scenes in porn. Porn has far more rigorous lighting requirements than any other genre, because without clothes, you have to do everything as possible to make it look appealing. Lighting is always from above and about 30 degrees to the left or right of the actors. Man, this dude knows a lot about it. Like, he would talk to his dad and be like, so what was work like today? Well, we had to move the lighting because Lisa Ann came in and 7 guys were there and it was hard to pay attention. Yeah, it's got to be a weird life. They said it's also weird when the dad comes home and has a smile on his face or he's in a good mood, because that creeped him out. They said it's also very hard to get sound because some cameras aren't as powerful as others, so you want to make it sound booming and like it's real. Very, very weird. It says they put on a ton of makeup and they spend an hour prior putting on as much makeup as possible. I mean, when you watch movies like Hot Girls Wanted, or you see these girls, let's say, on Howard TV, or any other kind of late night talk show, a lot of these girls, they're good looking, but when you put a ton of makeup on them, you just make them look like an imaginary doll. You don't make them look good looking. Like, girls that are in porn seem to be very damaged. Not all of them. I know people that are in the business and they're free spirits, but it seems like as you get deeper into the business, I feel like that's when it changes you as a person. Like, come on, it's a hard day at work. It says here, I used to live in a poor neighborhood, and one of my friend's mom used to host a cam show to make money for the family. She was really open about it and would tell us that she was going in the back room to do it. I don't know how I would react if my friend's mom did that. Or if my mom was like, I'm going to work, see you guys in 2 hours, don't come in the back room. But it would creep me out. It says here, he never really cared, nor was he embarrassed by his mom, but he would get mocked at school. Kids would even make accounts and request things from his mom via the cam. That had to be weird, because then she's trying to like figure out who's above age and who's not. So when you have these 14-year-olds trying to watch this kid's mom, that had to be weird, where you're going, oh my God, which one is above 18? I don't want to have any underage charges. I feel like being in that business is very stressful. It goes on to say that it's not weird knowing that his mom is in porn, but it's weird to know what she's doing during the day. And there's a bunch of other responses. I will tweet this out at Ryan Hoppe Radio. It's from BroBible.com, which, it's weird. I never thought I would say this, but Bro Bible actually has better prep for the show and better headlines and better articles that bring good content to the show than a lot of the other news sources that are just reporting over and over and over again about Trump and these accusations he's going through. And here's what I'm going to say before I end the show to talk about those accusations that keep coming in, that behind the scenes at these pageant events, he would accuse the girls of, or he's being accused by the girls of groping them and kissing them, and he's saying all these outrageous things, and he's just completely out of control. Here's what I don't get about it when it comes to the Americans' response, where everyone's freaking out about it. You guys do know who Trump is, right? Trump's an egomaniac that was born into money, and you can debate whether or not he's earned it, but he's a successful guy nonetheless. And he's also one of the most known people in the world. So he has the mindset that he can do what he wants, whenever he wants, because he's Trump. He puts the name on the side of every single one of his buildings. That's what comes with being a creepy rich guy, is the fact that these accusations are going to come out. And I find it funny that the news keeps talking about this girl got groped by him, and this girl got groped by him. And I'm glad it's coming out because it's a complete scumbag, but it's like, you don't need to keep saying breaking news on CNN or MSNBC or the Huffington Post. All right, this was a shortened happy hour. And if you want to listen to more happy hour, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is go to the Google Play and iPhone shop and search up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio, and there you can listen to me anywhere in the world. Like, we have listens in Avon, Ohio, and Cleveland, and Tampa Bay, Newport Richey. We have listens in London and 5014. Now, if you go there between the hours of 9 to 7 p.m. and you talk to Tony Spinney and Patrick McVicker and Ryan in the tech department, they will hook you up with a top-notch deal on T-Mobile service per month. Great smartphones. Maybe your phone's broken. Maybe you need a lesson. Go to Simply Prepaid at T-Mobile. 727-331-1934. That's 727-331-1934. Also, check out my guy, Nicholas Seymour, of the amazing decal company he has up in Minnesota.